Okay. Okay, Mayor.
I had some conversation with related to survey activity that you.
You get it. And
Somebody, we got a lot of flowers up here. Somebody must be the dog house.
Oh, okay. Our ass from you. We ready?
all set.
All right. Thank you very much. Certainly want to welcome all of you to the Vinton Town Council for this May 20th session on Tuesday evening. Good to see all of you. You know, once there was a rumor that we were going to raise taxes, and that's the last time we had this big a crowd. So, but we're not raising taxes. We're celebrating tonight. So good to see all of you. In the town of Vinton, we use a moment of silence so that everyone can pray or meditate as they see fit. I hope you will pray during that time. I'll certainly be praying. And if you pray, I would ask you to keep this country, this community, and this council meeting in your thoughts and prayers. I'll ask you to stand for that in just a second. And while we're standing, we'll also have the Pledge of Allegiance. And Councilmember McCarty, I think you're in charge of that tonight.
I did. I was able to speak to two lovely young ladies in the audience tonight. Sarah and Maggie will be leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay, and if you'd like to come up front to do that, you can.
They're like,
No, okay.
don't push it there. Don't.
If you stand for that, please, folks. That was going too far.
Too much.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, ladies. You did a great job.
You sure did. Thank you for that. Very proud of you. Okay, with that, we'll move to the next item, which is a request to postpone or change anything on the agenda. Folks have anything? Sir?
Mayor, I don't have anything to add to the agenda, but would like to back up just a little bit, if you wouldn't mind, to do a roll call.
Let's do that. You know, I'm new at this job. Thank you.
Councilmember McCarty,
Here.
Councilmember Stovall,
Here.
Vice Mayor Mullins. Here. Mayor Gross.
Here. Yep, we're all here. Thank you. Sorry about that, folks.
We just got so excited that we had somebody to volunteer.
That's true. That's true. Very exciting. As I was saying, the next item is request to postpone or change the agenda. Anyone?
Then you have to go back to that.
And we will go back to our community events, which is Councilmember McCarty.
On May the 26th, the town offices will be closed for observance of Memorial Day. On May the 26th at 8 a.m., Boomtown CrossFit is hosting the annual Murph Challenge in honor of Lieutenant Michael P. Murphy, a Navy SEAL who sacrificed his life for our country. And on June the 7th at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Vinton History Museum will have their community ice cream social of the first Saturday event. And June the 14th at 7 p.m., mingle at the market with Filthy Souls in Gasoline Alley. And then June the 17th, Glade Creek Greenway 2B ribbon cutting is at 10:30 a.m. This was previously scheduled for June the 3rd, so please mark your calendars. It's June the 17th now. June the 28th at 7 p.m., the next mingle at the market with Carly Ray and the Eric Wayne Band. And we also encourage folks to visit one of the many restaurants and entertainment venues in our community. And for more information, you can go to that venue's website or social media. And for everything happening in Vinton, please visit the In Vinton Facebook page and don't forget to like and share.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Always a lot going on in Vinton, that's for sure. All right, with that, we'll ask our Vice Mayor to bring us up to date on the council activities.
Yes, sir. We have been busy. You in particular have been busy. Let's see. Going back to May the 7th, Mayor Gross attended the Roanoke Valley Allegheny Regional Commission meeting. May the 10th, Mayor Gross helped assemble American flags with Vinton staff and volunteers for the Field of Honor. On May 13th, Mayor Gross participated in the Vinton Networking Group. May 14th, Vice Mayor Mullins and Councilmember McCarty attended the Public Works Committee meeting. Also on the 14th, Mayor Gross attended the Regional Skate Park construction kickoff. May 15th, Mayor Gross attended the dedication of the Field of Honor and the Roanoke Valley Allegheny Regional Commission meeting. And today, it happened today, this time. Mayor Gross and Councilmember Stovall attended the Finance Committee meeting.
Yes, we do. Very good. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Council has been busy. That's for sure. All right. Next item is the consent agenda. And tonight, that contains the minutes of the regular meeting of May 6th. Are there any changes or additions?
Mr. Mayor, I'll move consent agenda.
All right.
And I'll second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Stovall, a second by Councilmember McCarty. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. All right, now the fun part of the meeting, and that's our awards and presentations. And the first item listed, we're going to call on Councilmember McCarty to handle it.
Okay.
And I'll let you pronounce all those names there.
Well, actually, Vice Mayor came in and she wanted to do it. And so my prayers were answered because I didn't want to butcher it. I was so
That would be a vehicle for that. Wow.
So she's going to do that one.
Okay, well, I know Mr. Forney, and I've done it before, and it's a lot of, yeah, I've been practicing.
Very big words.
A lot of difficult words.
Right. So we have a proclamation to read tonight, whereas the month of May has been designated the GBS and CIDP Awareness Month to educate the public and focus attention on Guillain-Barré syndrome and chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy, rare, paralyzing, and potentially catastrophic disorders of the peripheral nerves. And whereas the cause of GBS and CIDP is unknown, the length of the illness is unpredictable. It is characterized by rapid onset of weakness and often paralysis of the legs, arms, breathing muscles, and face. Usually, months of hospital care are required, with patients and families facing an uncertain future, not knowing if and when recovery will occur. Some may face long-term disabilities of varying degrees. GBS or CIDP can develop in any person at any age, regardless of gender or ethnic background. And whereas in 1980, the Guillain-Barré Foundation International, now the GBS CIDP Foundation International, was founded to provide a support network to patients and their families through the national office headquartered in Philadelphia and its 180 chapters with more than 40,000 members throughout the United States, Canada, Asia, Europe, Australia, South America, and South Africa. And Rick Forney is the liaison for the local area chapter, serving as the link between patients, physicians, nurses, and families. The foundation provides educational materials, including a comprehensive booklet, GBS, an overview for the layperson, and newsletters, as well as funding medical research and conducting symposia. And whereas the Foundation's Medical Advisory Board includes prominent neurologists active in GBS and CIDP research, leading physicians in rehabilitation medicine, and physicians who themselves have had the disorder. Now, therefore, Mayor Bradley E. Gross and the Vinton Town Council, on behalf of the citizens of our town, proudly proclaim the month of May 2025 as GBS CIDP Awareness Month in the town of Vinton, and encourage all citizens to recognize the importance of raising awareness.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. We're kidding about the words, but that's obviously a serious condition. So we're honored to give them some recognition, all the folks that are working to improve those conditions. So thank you for that.
Yes, sir.
You bet.
And if you don't mind, I'll...
Please. You visit us every year. Did you have anything you wanted to say?
Just a minute or two. Number one, I'll have to leave early. I have a granddaughter who's playing her last soccer game tonight. She's going to graduate and go on to nursing at a university in the state. My story started 16 years ago, and I drank contaminated water, didn't know it. Within 2 weeks, my legs felt weak, and being a stubborn man, I went to work, drove a truck, got up to Pennsylvania, When I got up there, my legs did not work right. I fell, shattered my femur, ended up in the hospital. Within 24 to 48 hours, I was laying there paralyzed, not knowing what's going on. And the doctors fixed the leg, but they did a few tests and realized I had Guillain-Barré. Never heard of it, didn't know anything about it, but I've learned a whole lot in the last 16 years. And I'm out here to educate, make awareness, help others, talk to others. That's why I'm the liaison, to help them understand what they're going to go through, what might happen. And I can't thank Town of Benton for what you do every year. You're in our court. I appreciate it very much. Council members, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate the time on this, but I've got to say, I have to go. Granddaughter's waiting to play last game of soccer. Thank you very much.
We understand. Thank you, sir. We appreciate what you do also. You've been faithful to visit us every year. Appreciate that.
Thank
Take
you.
care. All right, with that, we'll move on to the National Public Works Proclamation. Ms. McCarty?
That's me. Whereas public works services provided in the town are an integral part of our citizens, institutions, businesses, and industries' everyday lives and well-being, and whereas public support of the importance of effective and efficient public works services such as street maintenance, sidewalk repair, solid waste collection, recycling, traffic signal and sign maintenance, snow and ice removal, and stormwater collection improves the morale and performance of public works staff. And whereas the health, safety, economic growth, and quality of life in our town greatly depend on these vital public works services. And whereas public works staff also provide critical response capabilities, experience, and support in times of emergency. And whereas the efficiency of the qualified and dedicated people who staff public works is positively influenced by the citizens' attitude and understanding of the important services the staff provides. Now, therefore, Mayor Bradley E. Gross and the town and the Benton Town Council, on behalf of the citizens of our town, proudly proclaim May the 18th, 2025 to May the 24th, 2025 as National Public Works Week in the town of Benton.
All right, maybe you can present that to both.
Okay.
All right. Very, very proud of our Public Works Department. They do a great job year-round. So we're certainly glad that there's a special week set aside to recognize those folks. They're true professionals, no doubt. Appreciate all the work that goes on in that department. And with that, speaking of Public Works, Bo, I understand you have a few recognitions.
Mayors, members of council, today I have the privilege to recognize the gentleman behind me. On April the 2nd, they was able to compete in a Southwest Virginia Public Works Academy Rodeo at the Bergman Center. It's a yearly event where all the localities get to come into one place and show off their skills. This year, we had a great turnout and our guys did very well. We had Garrett that finished first in the knuckle boom competition. Keith Childress that finished second in the snowplow competition. Andrew placing first in the zero turn competition. And Jason Davidson finished first in the bucket truck competition and second in the knuckle boom. These guys are also had a chance to go to Maryland and compete in the Mid-Atlantic competition this year as well.
All right, all right. Well, we certainly want to shake your hands if you don't mind
We
coming
want to
up.
thank Jill too because she registered all them people.
Well, we know who gets it done down there, right?
Thanks, everyone.
Congratulations.
Good job.
Good job. Congratulations. Congratulations. Good job.
Good job. First and second. Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we were just saying how proud we are of the Public Works Department, and it's good to see that they're being recognized outside the town. So good work, guys. Very proud of you. And good luck in the regionals. Is that what it's
Yeah,
called?
they've already done the Mid-Atlantic, and we have one guy that's actually going to Chicago for the Nationals.
All right.
Nice.
Awesome.
Good
That's
job.
awesome. That's great. Well, we look forward to presenting that certificate.
Yes.
That's great. Thank you for that. And with that, we'll move on to the police department for some announcements and promotions.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, town staff, family, social media, YouTube. I'm glad to get an opportunity to come out here and highlight some of the employees and, of course, promote some of them. First, I'd like to call Jason Call. I'd also like to invite his wife, Ashley, to come stand next to me. Right, facing them. Greetings in God to all who shall read this document. Know ye that reposing special trust and confidence in the fidelity and abilities of Jason Matthew Call, I do appoint this officer a sergeant in the Vinton Police Department to the rank of such from the 12th day of May, 2025. Effective with this appointment, you are charged to carefully and diligently execute the duties and responsibilities of a sergeant of the Vinton Police Department, and I do strictly direct and require all personnel of lesser grade to render obedience to appropriate orders. As a sergeant of the Vinton Police Department, you must set an example for others to emulate. Your conduct and professionalism, both on and off duty, shall be above reproach. Responsible for the accomplishment of your assigned duties and the safety, professional development, and well-being of the officers in your charge. You will be the embodiment of institutional core values of honor, integrity, and values. You will lead your officers with firmness, fairness, and dignity, while observing and following orders and directions of your senior leaders and enforcing all regulations and laws governing the Commonwealth of Virginia and the town of Vinton. Given under my hand as the town of Vinton Police Department this 20th day of May in the year of our Lord 2025. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Affirmation.
Raise your right hand. I, Jason M. Call, do solemnly affirm
I, Jason M. Call, do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
Constitution of the State of Virginia,
the Constitution of the State of Virginia,
the Code of the Town of Vinton,
the Code of the Town of Vinton.
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge
I will faithfully and impartially discharge
and perform all duties incumbent upon me
and perform all duties incumbent upon me
as a sergeant of the Town of Vinton,
as a sergeant of the Town of Vinton,
Virginia,
Virginia,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. That's for her. How's it?
All right.
Your mom's here, correct? Where's Mama?
Okay.
Are you Mama?
Miss Betty?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
To the two ladies.
No, that's sweet. Very sweet.
Mom, you want to be in the picture?
Right? Yeah. I didn't get you flowers, but I did get all down.
Oh, take the family. We'll get in.
How you get it?
Can we shake your hand, Sergeant?
Congratulations. Congratulations. Yes, sir. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Now I'd like to invite Andrew Hagee, along with his wife Chelsea. Yep. Greetings in God, to all who shall read this document. Know ye that reposing special trust and confidence in the fidelity and abilities of Andrew Stephen Hagee, I do appoint this officer a corporal in the Vinton Police Department to rank as such from the 12th day of May, 2025. Effective with this appointment, you are charged to carefully and diligently execute the duties and responsibility of a corporal of the Vinton Police Department, and I do strictly direct and require all personnel of lesser grade to render obedience to appropriate orders. As a corporal of the Vinton Police Department, you must set an example for others to emulate. Your conduct and professionalism, both on and off duty, shall be above reproach. You are responsible for the accomplishment of your assigned duties and the safety, professional development, and well-being of the officers in your charge. You will be the embodiment of the institutional core values of honor, integrity, and values. You will lead your officers with firmness, fairness, and dignity while observing and following orders and directions of your senior leaders and enforcing all regulations and laws governing the Commonwealth of Virginia and the town of Vinton. Given under my hand in the town of Vinton Police Department this 20th day of May and the year of our Lord, 2025. Congratulations, Corporal Hagee.
Raise your hand. All right. I, Andrew S. Hagee,
I, Andrew S. Hagee,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Virginia,
the Constitution of the State of Virginia,
and the Code of the Town of Vinton,
the Code of the Town of Vinton,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
all
duties incumbent upon me
all duties incumbent upon me
as Corporal of the Town of Vinton, Virginia,
as Corporal of the Town of Vinton, Virginia,
according to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all for allowing us to promote Sergeant Jason Call and Corporal Hagee.
And congratulations to their wives for the pinning. That was not an easy task.
Any comments, folks?
Yeah, naturally, these ceremonies show the dedication of each one of you to want to make this police department your home, to get promoted, to lead the shifts, lead the platoons. I want to say to the families that are here, yeah, it's a dangerous job. There's no doubt about it. We don't want to have it in our minds at all, but the support that you give them when they go to work every day, on behalf of council and the town, we thank you for that. Thank you all of you, all the police officers, all the staff for the great job that you do, and know that, naturally we're in budget times, but know that each and every time when we get into this time, we try to think about y'all and exactly what it would take to keep you here, let you get promoted, let you make this place your career. Thank you. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you, sir.
And I'll just add that we are so lucky to have you, and we think about you and pray for your safety all the time. We love our police department. We have the best. Thank you, guys and ladies.
Yes, right. And of course, you already mentioned a few things, and obviously very, very proud of Sergeant Call and Corporal Kagi, and I'm very proud of our entire police department. We have a wonderful town, a lot of great things happening, but they don't just happen. It takes a lot of hard work from a really dedicated staff, and we're very blessed here in the town of Vincent. Our staff in the police department, public works, actually our entire staff, they're just doing a great job. And we feel very blessed to have them working as a team. And when a town is this small and getting as much done as we do, then you always have to do things that maybe it's a little bit out of your job description. I'm sure that goes on in all the departments, but we do appreciate the job that our staff does. So once again, congratulations to you guys. We certainly are, folks from the Public Works Department. Thank you for the job you do. God bless you. Thanks.
Thank you. If
All
you all
right.
have obligations, you may step up.
Yeah, they probably want to take some pictures in the hallway, and we do have some other business. We're never insulted if you have to leave, so.
Let's see it.
Okay. Next item is citizens' comments and petitions. This section is for anyone that would like to make a comment that's not listed on the agenda. All right, don't see any. I guess we will move on to our public hearing. Tonight, we have a public hearing regarding the proposed 2025-2026 Town of Vinton budget. So I will officially open the public hearing, and of course, we will start with the report from the staff. Looks like it's your turn, Cody.
Sir, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of Town Council. You also have the slides printed out in front of you if you'd like to follow along.
First, as a brief introduction to the presentation as it's getting pulled up, these slides will not be unfamiliar. This is essentially a pared down version of Town Manager Peters' presentation from 2 weeks ago, which itself was a pared down presentation from our work session at the beginning of April. So this is nothing new that's being shared tonight, but just wanted to give a brief introduction to the public hearing.
You're good.
Oh, I am.
The bottom button. There you go.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. Look at this. We're working. So tonight is the budget public hearing. So we'll start, just give the broadest of overview to the revenues. As you all have heard, we're sitting in this budget with a general fund of approximately $13.5 million. Which is an increase this year. And as we've emphasized in these presentations, those revenues are currently sustainable as they're looking forward. We have seen some modest revenue growth in some of our major revenue streams. We've also seen some flattening out of revenue growth in some of those revenue streams. But as presented tonight, it is a balanced budget with that approximately $13.5 million of general fund revenues. We're still looking at utilizing some fund balance, which you'll see later on in the presentation on the expenditure side of the house to cover some one-time expenses. We are still in a high rate environment as of now, so still earning good interest on those reserves. But of course, looking ahead, we're looking at some possibilities for some new revenue streams, such as the hotel with transient occupancy tax and some other increased revenues, potentially new restaurants, new businesses, and other economic development opportunities. But we are also looking at the possibility that due to inflation and some other factors in the broader economic world, such as the tariffs or some shortage of contractors or supply, that some of our expenditures could be outpacing our revenues in the coming years. This is just an overall picture of what we're seeing with the general fund total revenues. We have seen substantial growth in that over the past years, but you'll notice in those proposed and forecasted years, we're seeing a leveling off and then actually a slight dip in FY27 and 28 as we pick back up. Most of this is due to the falling off of the Western Virginia Water Authority payments, but then also, as mentioned, the leveling off of some of these other revenue streams. On the expenditure side of the house, the operational expenditures outside of personnel are essentially flat across all the departments. I praise our departments every year around this time of year. They are extremely prudent in their spending and very, very fiscally conservative in what they ask for. They don't spend it if they don't need it, but certainly know that if the need arises, they come to Pete and I to look at that. On the personnel side, this is our largest expense. It's $7 million of that $13.5 million budget. So well over half is dedicated to salaries and benefits and investing in our staff members. So we're doing that once again. We have a 3% raise aimed at all employees, plus additional adjustments for public works and public safety. Based on recent actions by other neighboring localities, that 3% COLA raise is in line with other localities in the region and with what the state is doing for state employees. And then the extra bump, a total of 4.5% for public works and public safety, is actually in excess of what a lot of the other regional localities are doing. So we are staying quite competitive with that, at least in our opinion. This one for Councilmember Stovall, once again, no change in health insurance premiums, so that is a true raise, not getting eaten up by any premium expenses. The major expenditures that we see in this budget, as we typically see, are the paving, about $800,000 for the paving, and then about $930,000 for the economic development performance agreements, which will be utilizing those that fund balance money. So we do expect some growth in expenditures looking forward. And then also, while not this year, on the health insurance increase, at some point, we do anticipate, as with all things, that health insurance and other fringe benefits will be increasing. This is just an overall pie chart. As Town Manager Peters pointed out at his recommended budget presentation, police and public works represent about 2/3 of our staff and right at half of our overall budget. Everything else sort of falling in line there, with the next highest, as we pointed out, those performance agreements, and then paving and within public works being a fairly large portion. So this is adding up, all activities adding up to that $13.5 million number.
Lastly, our capital improvement program, we are receiving the third and final payment from the Western Virginia Water Authority from the transfer of the water system in FY26 at $500,000. So we have allocated that $500,000 to the capital improvement program. So it is relatively modest based on some of the projects that we've done in the past, but that does not mean that we do not have the capacity to do projects throughout the year utilizing some other funds. And in fact, giving a preview for one of next month's meetings in the current fiscal year, we do always have the opportunity to appropriate existing year funds for projects such as the park project that will be coming up. So stay tuned on that one. The largest expense in the CIP this year is the purchase of a street sweeper. In discussing with our various departments, that is sort of the highest need, top priority piece of large equipment. So we are very excited that this time we're able to do that through cash funding. The last time we bought one of these, we had to go out and get debt for it. So being able to be in a position to cash fund that is quite good for the town. And then the gateway entrance signs being the next largest, and then some other miscellaneous projects here and there. So it's a tight CIP. Like I said, it doesn't mean we're not doing stuff, but we're sort of trimming this down just so we can focus on utilizing that water authority payment. This is a slide that we've shown from the very beginning just to give the overall balance analysis of what's going on. So we have those operational revenues. These are our recurring revenues that we can expect from our tax base and other fees coming into the town of just over $12 million. The water authority payment, and then the use of fund balance representing one-time monies to utilize for specific projects. On the expenditure side, operational and personnel are broken down there, showing that overall percentage. We call out paving just because it's our single largest expense in the general fund budget and the one that's the most visible to the public. And then those performance agreements, as you can see, the exact lineup with the use of fund balance, and then the capital projects with the water payments. So we do present a balanced budget, no increase in taxes proposed in this budget. And if there are any questions, we welcome them, but no action will be taken tonight. Adoption scheduled for June 3rd, pending any decision or additional guidance from council.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Very efficient presentation. Very, very professional. Thank you for that. Are there any public comments on the budget? Council, you have any questions, any discussion? No? We've been through it, haven't we? So with that, we'll officially close the public hearing. And as Cody mentioned, we'll take action on June 3rd. I might point out on our pie chart, it's very significant that the town council portion is a real slim 1% in there. So
We deserve more than that.
There are always opportunities for expansion.
Oh, we'll keep that in mind. Thank you. With that, I guess we better move along. It looks like the next person up is Mo with our Public Works Committee report.
Hello again, Mayor, members of council. May 14th, we had Public Works Committee meeting. It was a short meeting, but productive. So I like that. A few key topics that we talked about was storm drain improvements. The Thrasher Church storm drain project has been completed. It's finished, restored, and paid back. So that was turned out to be a good project. Third Street project, we have contacted with ECS, and they will be coming in and doing about 5 boring samples to give us a test of the material that's under that road, to give us, so we'll know how to move forward to fix that. So looking forward to that. This to see. I know it's going to be a costly project, but it's going to be interesting to see what's under that road. This year's paving contract has been completed, which was the Valley High area, Pine Street, Wood, Cottage, in that section right there, and then that alley going in behind the old Cleveland Mart. So that turned out real well. Looking at next year's budget for paving, we were looking at Virginia and Hardy from basically the town line to Bypass Road, both lanes, all 4 lanes going in all directions. We had a citizen contact us through email and request tractor about a four-way stop sign at East Cleveland and South Poplar. We looked at this a few years ago, brought VDOT in. They gave us our recommendation. I guess they've had 2 crashes since then. They're under the same opinion about we should not make it a four-way stop because Cleveland coming down both directions carry about 2,000 cars a day for traffic, where you have a 40 per day coming on Poplar. We did make some improvements through there where we extending the no parking on one side so you can have a better line of sight. We also talked about maybe putting a sign up saying dangerous intersection ahead. Maybe that will slow some traffic down.
Yeah.
So accidents happen, I understand that. We can't prevent them all, and we made some improvements to try to prevent that. So hopefully that will help.
Bo, could I ask a quick question?
Yes, sir.
Is that one of the intersections where we painted stop bars?
Yes.
From just my eyeball, it feels like Poplar is one that's often run. There's some speed on Cleveland too, but the idea that folks don't pay attention to the stop sign on Poplar and sometimes run that intersection. And I think the stop bars are another visual indicator where the sign itself is one thing, but when you have that stop bar,
Yeah.
I think it sometimes draws your attention even more so than the stop sign. So, kudos to Bo for when we're doing our restriping this year. We've added a lot of stop bars that we haven't previously had, and in this particular intersection, I think it could pay dividends too.
Yes, we bought a new spray machine and a stencil. So we're actually going through all the intersections through town as a part of the sign replacement project to paint stop bars at every intersection that needs it. So, I mean, that does help out a lot.
Yeah, it does. As a matter of fact, you guys painted one on my street there on Aragona, and it's really effective. A lot of people miss that sign completely. I really like that.
I've had a few folks question why we've done that in different intersections. They didn't know they shut them, and if you've even commented that they never stopped there before.
Let's not tell on ourselves.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, man. But they are effective. Yeah.
Okay.
So but we will keep an eye on it, and then, just to see what it results in the next, few months, year from now. Hopefully there's no more accidents there. It is tight. It is, with the traffic coming down Cleveland. I know it's posted as 25, but you're coming downhill, so I'm sure they're doing 45, but we are, keeping an eye on it.
So that's a new machine you have that does?
A new spray machine, yeah.
Oh, spray.
To help spray. We can do some striping with it. We can do or stop bars, any type of stenciling work we can spray with it. So.
Wow, very nice.
Let's see. Another topic we talked about was putting a guardrail on Mountain View Road right there at the intersection, a couple houses down from Meadows and Salon Circle. We did look at that, did get a price. Our only problem is at, I believe it's 1612, that when you back out of the driveway, if they look right to go back up, they can't see past the guardrail. So it's the line of sight issue because it drops off pretty bad right there going in their driveway.
So you're talking about across the street from my house?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I know that the guardrail would help there for sure, but also too, they just can't see around it. So
did she request that or just? No, just looking at it.
Yeah, just looking at it. It is tight through there. It seems tighter now since they did the FDR project. The road's the same width. It seems tighter. It looks a little bit steeper, but at the end of the day, it's not. But it's always tight in them areas through there.
We just need to slow down. If we slowed down, it wouldn't have any problem.
Right, true.
Right.
We are, with our striping machine, where we can paint a white line on the edge of the road to give us a boundary. So we're going to try that.
Yeah. Cool.
And we can also put some signage up too. I mean, it's a narrow road ahead or something like that, just to give it, a more visual. We are currently working on a storm drain replacement at the front of Lancer lot. That storm box has gave way on the backside and created a sinkhole, and we've been working on that, and that project should wrap up sometime this week, just in time for the pool season. So, more than I know. But other than that, that's all we had.
Yeah,
I'll take any questions.
like you said, it sounded like a productive meeting.
Mhm.
Questions,
Now,
comments?
if you would convey for me Thursday, I'm a big part of the Boys and Girls Club. It's starting tomorrow. We have a 2-day event.
Okay.
Fundraisers, and then Thursday. So I won't make the luncheon. Isn't it Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all doing that for my birthday.
Okay, you are.
Is that Thursday?
For you. I'll bring you a cupcake.
Okay, I'll be there.
Oh, Thursday's your birthday?
Uh-huh.
All right.
So you're not coming?
I'm not gonna make it. No, sir.
Take one of the pizzas off.
That's
Take a whole pizza. Oh, my goodness. Bo, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For
Yeah,
a
good
good report.
Thank you. Yeah, good.
All right, then we'll have our Finance Committee report. Andrew, please.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. We met just a couple hours ago. We had a relatively short agenda this month than we've had in the previous months. We took a look at primarily the April financials. I pointed out that we haven't seen all of the revenue generation there that we typically see this time of the year due to a delay in our bank franchise revenue collection. I explained that there was a change at the state level on how those filings are received, and because of that, they gave the banks an additional 2 months this year to get their filings sent in, and which of course delayed our payments. So we have recently received that information that we need. We've gotten the invoices out, and what we typically hope to generate in revenue in April is just going to be pushed to May, so it's still going to fall well within this fiscal year. We're still earning around $35,000 a month in interest earnings on the one-time money that we're holding on to in our investment accounts. Through April, we'd like to see around 83% spent, and then 83% earned as far as revenues and expenses are concerned. Taking a look at our larger revenue items, our sales tax collection is at 92% through the year. Our meals tax is at 94.5. This is going to be the first year, barring something unforeseen, that we've crossed 2 million in meals tax collection, which is pretty substantial. It's going to exceed the budget by more than 200,000. Our business license collection, we have already exceeded the budget on that by about 2%, so that's exciting. We talked about having 600 active business licenses at current, which is a high water mark as far as that's concerned. Our cigarette tax collection is at 162% of the budget this year, so those sales continue to stay strong. So again, we talked about interest earnings. That is our really making good use of our investment products in both the general and capital funds. Of course, our pari-mutuel tax. Again, we've already exceeded budget there through the end of April, so anything at this point that we earn is going to be in excess of budgeted expectations. So our trends continue as far as revenue is concerned. Expenses are in line with where we'd like to see them, what we budgeted for, so nothing out of line there. We talked briefly about the Vinton War Memorial renovation, so we're beginning to look at finance options for that. I presented 4 options to Cody and Pete earlier today, and we have settled on 2 of those 4 to look into a little bit further. So we'll do that, and once we have some specifics as far as that's concerned, we will bring back the options to the Finance Committee and decide on a path forward to get that financing process taking place so we can get the memorial renovation funded. Beyond that, Cody talked a little bit about budget transfers. Cody, do you want to touch on that again?
Sure.
Just very briefly on the budget transfers, and as slightly previewed during the presentation when the budget public hearing, coming ideally aimed for the second meeting in June, so June 17th, we'll have a public hearing to do additional appropriations and budget transfers for the current fiscal year. So this will be a true up of some operational expenditure, operational overages that have occurred during the year for various reasons, utilizing some anticipated surplus revenues that are coming in, as Andrew just indicated. Some are running quite hot already for the year. And then we've identified some projects at both council's direction and in consultation with the department heads based on need. So the largest of those is the park project. So we'll bring an appropriation about $750,000 for the park project at that time. And then we have some HVAC projects and some computer and other electronic equipment to purchase. So the goal is to utilize as much of the surplus anticipated revenues first, and then utilize fund balance to cover any of those one-time projects. But it will be in excess of the 1% mark, so we'll have to hold a public hearing for that move.
Awesome.
Right. And that was the extent of what we covered today. Do y'all have any questions or anything I can follow up on?
You want to smoke? I know it's dangerous to your health, but keep coming to Benton and buy them.
Absolutely. If you're going to do it here.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Smoke, come here and smoke.
With that being said, I'd request a motion to approve the financial statements for April.
Okay. All right. So, council, you have any comments or questions for Andrew? No? If not, we'll entertain a motion to approve the financial statements for April 30th, 2025. All right.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Stovall, second by Vice Mayor Mullins. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. And down to the town attorney section, I guess you have a big presentation for tonight.
I decided I would not do that tonight, Mr. Mayor, but I'm gonna steal something off of Pete's report. We are working towards the closing on the hotel property. We did close on the DR Music property. I have confirmed with the town manager that they've removed the no trespassing, so now it is accessible to the public.
Very
quite a few other things going on that we'll be presenting to you over the next several weeks. I wouldn't expect it immediate, but a few ordinance amendments and things may be coming down the pike. So
Great. Well, thank you for that. Appreciate it. Not to put you on the spot, but you can never put
spend a lot of time on the
attorney.
spot. It's okay.
I got that. All right. So with that, no, but seriously, thank you for all your work, Chairman.
Sir.
We'll move on to town manager report.
Just a couple additional items. I just wanted to kind of mention the increased economic development activity we've had recently. There's just been a lot of, it's kind of ebbs and flows from time to time, but it seems like we've got a lot of activity going on in town. Interest from unsolicited interest, which is even better when we have folks looking to come in town for various reasons. So kind of chasing this rabbit, you never know which cast is going to catch the fish, so you keep going. So more report hopefully for some of those coming through. And I know we've kept you in the loop a little bit on the Wesley Alley project, but if you haven't been down there, the sidewalk and the aprons on all three legs of the alley have been completed with brick paver work. Bo's been working to try to get us a paving contractor in town to finish up the paving of the alleys, but that's looking really nice. They sent an update to the businesses and fire department today, kind of let them know kind of where we stood, and it might still be a couple weeks before we can get it paved, but all in all, looks really good. They're working on the stormwater issues around back was a part of the project, and then around front, I think Josh is going to turn his attention to getting the brick pavers on the courtyard out front, that's adjacent to the farmers market stage. Not sure it'll be ready by the first mingle, but they're targeting that day to see if the patio can be utilized in the mingle, not by the first, certainly by the second.
Yeah.
So that's really sharp. And I think that's another good addition, aesthetic improvement, but functionality improvement to increase our leasable space in downtown, try to get some additional businesses in there. So all in all, a good project.
Yeah.
Nice to see those things come together on the back end. But other than that, it's all got.
That is good news, though. I'm looking forward to completion of that project. And for one thing, it's a very visible corner. A lot of people see that when it comes to the bingo and all. So, yeah, exciting. Thank you, sir. I hope you enjoyed your vacation.
If I wouldn't have missed y'all so much, I might have stayed, but
I'm sure that's why you came back.
it was quite the trip. I should acknowledge staff. I don't want to acknowledge them too much because it almost appears like I wasn't needed, but staff did a wonderful job while I was gone. I barely heard from anybody, so thank you for everybody for your coverage and giving me a little time with my daughter.
That's great. I did notice things ran rather smoothly, so. No, Pete does a great job for us. Appreciate you very much, and you certainly deserve the time off. With that, we'll move on to council comments. Maybe you have anything?
I do. I always try to give a little shout out on my own for a restaurant in the area that my friends and I get to visit. And this time we went to Our Daily Bread and had a wonderful breakfast. So I just wanted to give a shout out to them. And again, thanks to the police and the Public Works for all they do. And it is an honor to be a part of this Benton family.
Amen. Well said. Thank you. Vice Mayor, anything further?
I will add, good job for the treasurer's office. They're knee deep in tax collection, I guess. So good luck.
Yeah.
And for everyone to have a safe and fun Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, you betcha. Yeah, sure.
Well, like, attended a roundabout meeting, naturally talked to a couple citizens, but actually I am a proponent of roundabouts and I think it's great and needed. I think one of the biggest questions that was answered was the fact that they are going to leave the light at Clearview and Hardy. They have a turn lane there. So they showed that on the document. Actually, that question was asked by, I think, to Brian Blevins, but anyway, it was asked and they said they were going to leave it. And I do have to vouch. I know he's not here. I'm not going to talk bad about him. I am going to give him a kudos, I guess. He is working tonight. I'll have to admit.
Oh, yeah.
He's doing 2,600 lemonades, medium lemonades. Did 300 today to Community Hospital and doing 2,300 tomorrow to Roanoke Memorial and Riverside. So he is working because I saw his wife earlier and I said, is he telling me the truth? So anyway, but he is at work. So I want to just shout out for that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. Yeah, I think your comment about the roundabout is very important. I think that'll be a great project here in town. I'm very excited about that. Yeah, certainly help traffic flow smoothly and improve safety. So I'm very excited about that. It's really, really great to see the promotions in the police department and the recognitions in public works. As I said earlier, just really proud of our staff. And Mike, I would just like to reiterate what you said. Certainly the families play a big role in that. I know it's important, actually in both departments, for the families to be part of their careers. It's really essential. And so I neglected to thank the families earlier, but we certainly do appreciate that, as we do our entire staff. We have a great staff. Good to see you again tonight. We've been trying to get her on the committee, but she says she's too busy.
Too busy.
I got a feeling when she has time, we're going to draft her. So we'll look forward to that. Anything further come before council this week? If not, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
I'll second.
All in favor, please signify by leaving. Thank you, folks. God bless. Oh, I'm sorry, I messed up your person.
That's the biggest thing you do.